Here we've got Mike's breaststroke getting in the water pretty good. We're looking pretty deep here. We want to make sure that you're not going nearly as deep and then having to come up so high. Eyes are looking forward. We always want to make sure that those eyes are down. Your eyes are going straight that way. So keep that head down. You don't need to really look for the surface, but because you're so deep, that is part of that problem. As you go through that breaststroke, you're leading out with your knee. See how much of a gap you've got right there in between those knees. We want to make sure that instead of this long gap, you're going to have probably just a little shorter gap in about there. That's how much space you should have between your knees, and you've got a tremendous amount. When you go through that breaststroke kick, really think about just pulling those heels up and then getting your feet turned out and going around from there. Again, going really pretty deep and then having to really kind of come up real high. Timing looks pretty good between your press down on the water and ability to come up to breathe, so keep that where it's at. And I think really what's going to help your breaststroke along is if we can really work on trying to bring those heels up, and that eventually will end up having to try and change your timing around just so that you can end up getting everything to work together. So keep it up. Here we have Mike's breaststroke above water. Pretty good start going in. Got a lot of speed coming off that wall. Good spot for your breakout. Could maybe wait just a little bit longer so then as you go into that first stroke to actually break the surface, you're not having to glide nearly as long right there. Just a little bit of a glide, so that kind of tells me hold off a little bit on that first pull underwater, and then everything else should kind of work out from there. You are working on really trying to keep that head down. You've got good shoulder shrug going in. The one thing I can tell, and you're going to have a much better look at this underneath the water, is you're actually kind of leading out with that knee. So when you do a breaststroke kick, you really want to think about pulling your heels up to your rear end, getting those feet turned out, and then really trying to push the water back past your body. So it's almost as if you're trying to jump off the ground. As we go through this turn, you're lifting up pretty high, and you are actually kind of doing a circular motion. We want to make sure that as you go through, you're coming in and then you're coming straight back out on that same line that you came in on. That's going to allow you to actually get the strongest and the fastest turn. And the way to actually be able to do that is really think about driving your knees straight up underneath you and going back a little bit more on both of your shoulder blades. Your eyes are going to follow the back wall up to the ceiling. But since you pull off with that right hand first, you're going to put a little bit more pressure on that right shoulder. So that's going to twist your body a little bit, and then you're going to be able to push off on your side. And get you moving forward here. Again, pretty good looking pull out there. Getting some decent distance off the wall. Okay. I do think we can maybe play around with just a little bit larger pull out in front of you. But right now what's really going to hold you back is that kick. So just kind of think about keeping those knees in together and getting those heels turned out and around. But very good finish. Timing worked out just perfectly for you. Nice job, Mike.